Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of Marion County Espresso TV. Today I'm joined once again by Pella Mayor Don DeWaard. Welcome, Don.
Good morning, Steve. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Always happy to chat with you, Don. So there's an informational meeting coming up Wednesday night. We're taping this on Monday. Can you kind of tell us where that is and what your goal is?
Yeah, sure. So this Wednesday evening from 5:30 to 7:30, we're going to have an open house out at the new Boss Land Conference Center. You know, as most people may be aware, we had some water damage in there and had to redo the whole thing. So it's all been redone. It's very nice. We're still kind of working on, you know, how best to use it and what to use it for. But we thought this would be a great opportunity to have an open house. People can come out, see the new facility. Again, I think it's very nice. People will be impressed. And then we also are going to kind of combine that with an opportunity to talk about the rec center, the new rec center proposal that we've been discussing for a couple of years now. We're getting closer to reality on it, I think, and so we want to give people an opportunity to ask any questions. What we've done from a fundraising standpoint so far is we've targeted our larger corporations and a lot of small businesses with some naming opportunities and that's been very, we've had a lot of success doing that. We want to give everybody in Pella a chance to participate in making this project happen, which I think will be a great addition to the community. So we'll have some information to hand out. We'll do a couple presentations throughout the evening just talking about the project, and then letting people know how they can help support it as we move towards a December 5 is kind of when we've got it on our council agenda to approve moving forward, going to bids and doing all those things that's required to get the project going.
And December 5 will get here before you know it. So
yeah, as we know, time flies.
So where are we at on the fundraising? Are you?
Yeah, so you know, if you look back in the history of before we really introduced the idea of the rec center, we had done some behind-the-scenes fundraising. Some of our bigger corporations, we had, you know, originally we thought we were looking at a $32 or $3 million facility. This was back in 2021 was when we first started talking about it. Anyway, had done some behind the scenes with some of our larger corporations, got great response from them. They see a real need for this project in our community, and had $12 million pledged from 3 of our larger corporations for the project. We moved the project along, hired an architect, got a design team together, and started planning the facility. They did a great job, I think, the group that worked on it. Took 6 months to do that. And so in the start of 2023, we had a plan. We went back and started doing some more fundraising. Pretty quickly, we were able to increase from the 12 million up over 15 million. You know, we're kind of we're working towards a February 24 time to move it forward for bids. Council didn't approve that, and so we kind of put it on hold for a little bit to kind of figure out how we wanted to move forward. I think it was June, maybe, we kind of came to an agreement that we would move the project forward if certain benchmarks were met, and so we've been working on that. Anyway, we restarted some fundraising efforts. Again, I've had great response, very successful. So we're right at $17 million now pledged towards the project, and that's again, we want to open it up to the general public now. Let everybody that's you know, interested in this project, give them an opportunity to help us get it paid for. And so I think that I get asked about it a lot, especially with people who have kids in a lot of different sporting events and those kind of things. They're really interested in this project happening, and so I think we'll get some great response. We've ran a couple ads in the town crier over the last couple weeks talking about it, and this event on Wednesday night I think will help get the word out and give people the nuts and bolts of how they can help support the project.
And are we still trying to raise money for your original vision with the 2 pools and the 4 or how many basketball courts was it 8?
Yeah. So the current or the current design of the facility is an aquatic side and a gymnasium side, yes, which has 2 pools, 1 recreation pool and 1 competition pool, and then on the other side 4 gyms. The design has 4 regulation high school gyms, which obviously would facility be available for a lot of tournaments and those kind of things. But that's the project we want. Our architect's estimate is somewhere 39 to 41.5 million is kind of their current estimate. Until we go to bid, we won't know that exact number. So that's I'm kind of anxious to get there. But yeah, that's where we're at. And I think I really am hopeful that we can raise the money we need to do the whole project because I think we need it. We need all 4 of those gyms, and we need the pools, both the competition and the rec pool. I think will be great additions to the community.
And is the extension of University Street still part of the discussion? Yeah,
we certainly that, and even if we take the rec center discussion out of it and just talk about the extension of University, I think it's critical to our community, and especially with the fall sports coming up. And if you've been out there, I don't know if you have, but I have grandkids participating in soccer, flag football, and everything, and it's somewhat of a mess out there. There's so many kids participating in those sports. We have 1 entrance in, 1 entrance out, and so it really makes for a traffic nightmare getting in and out, and I've had several comments about that. I say the best way for us to alleviate that issue is to support this project, support getting University Street extended, which at minimum will give us 3 different ways to get in and out of the sports park. The idea is to extend Baseline Drive, which is the road that comes into the sports park now, extend it up to the University, and then University be extended for the full mile across, so you can come out of there and you can go west or you can go east, depending on where you need to go and where you want to go. So I think that would really alleviate a lot of traffic issues. And the other part of it is with the new rec center facility, the plan is for 300 additional parking spaces.
That will help.
And parking is obviously an issue. And I wasn't involved in the design or planning for the original sports park, which it's a fantastic facility.
Absolutely.
I don't know if there was discussion, when it was built or designed to create 2 ways in and out, how much parking there was designed for. Perhaps no one anticipated the level of participation from the community, but we certainly are in need of more parking and badly need more ways in and out of the sports park. If nothing else happens, that's critical. And so the road extension is very, very important.
And to my knowledge, last I heard, you guys are still negotiating to get the land for the university.
Yeah.
Have you secured that land?
Obviously, that's a big part of it, is we need to secure right away from the property owners. I'll say at this time, I'm very optimistic that we are going to be able to accomplish that and get that road project started. And I'm sure and maybe not everyone knows, we've already secured $1 million grant from the federal government for the extension of that road, which is, it adds a little bit of planning and some steps you have to take when the federal government gets involved, but I think it's worth it for the $1 million. Another important part of that road project is a bike trail. As we're discussing with landowners about right-of-way, we're making sure that we have enough right-of-way to not only put the road in, but also to add a bike trail along beside it. I think that's critically important. I've said all along that I don't believe there's a real safe way for kids to ride their bikes to the sports park right now. So if we can get a bike trail in there that comes from town, I think that'll open it up for kids to ride their bikes there, and that'll be a real good thing for the sports park and for the youth in our community.
It sure would be. I mean, I got to agree with you about the bike safety.
Yeah.
And how about, as we're talking about the sports park and the rec center, what about our existing facilities like the soccer complex? What would you like to see done with that?
Well, I think we had a pretty lengthy discussion about that a couple months ago, and we had, a couple ideas we had was, or a couple things for discussion was, do we redo what we already have for the soccer complex, or even back when the sports park was built, and I don't know exactly, there was kind of a high-level discussion about moving the soccer complex to the sports park, which we do have 11 acres. The city owns 11 acres of land on the east side of the Baseline Drive. And so the discussion was, what should we pursue? I think that the council at this point decided that the best thing for now, for the short term, was to redo the current soccer facility. And so I think that's the direction we're going to go, but keeping in mind as we do more long-term planning that eventually that might be a better thing to do if we can move it over there. So I would anticipate that, I think the discussion was we need to get an engineer hired to look at what needs to be done. Obviously, I think it needs a new irrigation system, and the fields need to be redone, so the plan is to work in that direction.
And staying with the whole sports theme, Central is making great strides on their pickleball / tennis courts. I was just there Saturday. They look nice so far. Do you think we need more pickleball courts, or where we stand on that?
Well, I think for the long term, I think it's something we need to continue to discuss. The central option, I think, is a great short-term solution to a shortage of pickleball. I'm not a pickleball player myself, but it is a very, obviously, a rapidly growing popular sport, and so more people are playing it. Both my age, older people, and younger people are playing. So I think, kind of what we decided to do as a city is to participate with Central in the redoing of their tennis courts and then adding pickleball courts. So the city has committed $300,000. We just talked about that at our last meeting, and actually probably will approve that at our October 1st meeting, the contribution from the city to help Central make those pickleball courts. And then there's a 20-year agreement with Central and the city about usage. So I think it's a great solution, but also, and part of our discussion was to make sure that we continue to talk about more longer term. It's kind of hard. We did some research. It's kind of hard to, depends on who you talk to, is how many pickleball courts you need based on population. And so, but yes, we need to continue to think about it long term. One of the things to keep in mind is with the new indoor rec facility, there's also on those 4 gyms, there's plans to put pickleball, so you'd have 12 indoor pickleball courts also available for use. So, that's all part of the process, part of the solution to making sure we give people the opportunity to participate in these sports that not only are good for fitness but also for enjoyment.
And at a recent policy and planning meeting, Mr. Nardini laid out a plan for the water retention, with the flooding that we had with those heavy rainfalls. Do you think that's a pretty good solution that he and the staff came up with?
Well, I mean, we don't have a lot of options. As he said, there's some areas in our community, and who knows all the history, but as Pella grew and some new communities were created, there were some spots where they didn't do a real good job of putting in storm sewers and those kind of things. Now I think we do. I mean, any new project that's being built, that's one of the questions that has to be asked is what do you do with water, whether it's surface water, so there's requirements for detention ponds and those kind of things. And so I think for the areas that are in the worst shape, it's a great solution, but it's an expensive solution. City's going to have to decide, who's going to pay for what to fix the problem, because it's going to cost a lot of money to do that. And I don't I don't know that there's any other solution to do it. So there will be continuing discussions going on.
And so, if I can go back to the fundraising for the rec center, this just
Yeah.
popped in my head. There will be a change in the board of supervisors in January since Mark Ramey lost the nomination. Do you plan to approach the county again after the first of the year?
I think what we'll probably do with the county is maybe when we start with the road discussion, go to them about the road. I think it was pretty clear that they weren't interested in helping us pay for the rec center, and Mark actually was one of our supporters that thought that might not be a bad idea. So I think we probably will have some discussion when it comes to the road. I don't think we'll probably go back and discuss, although it's unfortunate because Marion County is certainly going to benefit greatly from this facility. It's not just a Pella thing. It's something that all the surrounding community is going to love. It's going to be a great facility, and we'll get a lot of usage. But yeah, I don't think we'll go back to discuss the rec center.
Is there anything more you'd like to share today? Your
Yeah,
update?
just a couple things. I'm really excited about what's happening in the city right now.
Lots of great things.
Yeah, most people, or not everybody, but most people are aware we had a housing study that was updated from a 2017 housing study that showed that Pella was probably going to need 966 housing units by 2025. I'm really pleased with the fact that I think they were right on, and it appears that those at the time you looked at and you thought, wow, how can that happen? But it's a reality. We have added tremendous amount of housing. So now the new study comes out and says we need 1,275 roughly by 2035. So we've extended the time period by another 10 years and have increased the need. Fortunately, we're making a lot of great strides. One of the issues in developments always is land, and where do you go, and can you get land, is it available? And takes a ton of investment for that to happen. Well, we're blessed in this community beyond measure in a lot of ways. People hopefully are aware of that. But we have a lot of private money that people are willing to commit to this community. And so right now, we have 4 new developments because we're out of lots to build within city limits. So we have the Timberview project at the north end of Hazel. That's the closest to being ready to actually sell lots. I think they're just starting to install the streets there. That's 38 or 9 lots in phase 1. Fountain Hills, there's an extension to the north of Fountain Hills that dirt work has started on that. I believe that's 47 lots. The Epcon project is another kind of a senior living community, similar to the Vintage Estates in Boss Landon. The structure is a little bit different, but it's that kind of a project, and that's 30-some lots. And then phase 2 of Prairie Ridge, farther to the west, is just in the planning phases too. So when you combine all of those, I think that adds up to about 180 or so lots available for housing, which we need. We kind of feel as leadership in the city, we should have 250 with the rate in which we're building new houses in town. And so we still need some more, but there's a couple other projects that are in the discussion phase that I think that come on. So I'm really excited about that, what's happening in housing, the ability of our community to continue to grow, because we simply have to in today's world. We have to keep growing and just to stay relevant and to stay vibrant. We've got great companies here, and for them to stay in Pella, it's really important that we as a community continue to grow along with them, who are all of our companies are on pretty good growth tracks.
Continue to grow and prosper. That's always the goal.
It is, yes.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Don.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you all for joining us.